People need to do dopamine detoxes more. If you don't know what dopamine detox is, you probably do. It is when you take a day, usually a day, out to not participate in any highly stimulating activities. So you're basically going cold turkey on everything. You do not listen to music. Don't eat too, pleasurable foods like snacks and chocolate, I guess. Fast food, things like that. And don't scroll on social media. Pretty much the only things that are permitted by most people on the internet when it comes to dopamine detoxing is to write. So it could be any form of journaling, writing a book, poetry, whatever. Any kind of craft in that way. And to meditate. And to go for a walk. That's it. And that is a very daunting idea for most people. It's very daunting for me. But I tried it 3 days ago and it was great. It was very difficult pretty much every minute of the day, but it got easier as time went on. I did various things. I went to take a walk in the park. And I noticed my anxiety for just the long-term future went down a lot. And I would say that the one thing that I was most drawn to do that I had to resist was scrolling on social media, Instagram particularly. And I do think it proves to me that as humans it is incredible and it is absurd how attached we are to these screens, like the one I'm looking at right now and talking to. For 90% of people, I'd really say 99% of people, 95% of people, to function in everyday society, even to just live, okay, not even as a kind of free time thing, even to just live and have a wage and have a ways of survival. Everyone needs to have an electronic device and access it every day, at the most once a day. That is mandatory, pretty much. The first point I'm making in this video is that people need to do dopamine detoxing more. If you've never done a dopamine detox, I would highly recommend it. I do not believe it resets your dopamine system, because the urge always stays there to go back to certain habits the next day. I think to really have that impact, you will have to dopamine detox everything for a good 3 months, a good 90 days. The length of time it takes to break or make a lifestyle. Or generally more, it depends on the person. I'd recommend doing a dopamine detox solely for the effects, for the positive effects it will have if you do not participate in social media consumption. Just for a day, it will do wonders for your attention span. It will do wonders for your anxiety. It will do wonders for your time. Most of the things you see on social media are not worth your time. It's great if you see a lot of political or educational based reels, TikToks, things like that. Even YouTube. YouTube is probably the best out of all of them. It's the least stimulating. It's the longest form content. All of these social medias are designed to do one thing, and that's to keep your attention. That's how they make their money. They are designed to do that. That's the whole premise of the For You page. It's the entire system. And so I think that most people do need a personal cut on their time. They need to make that decision themselves to limit their own time they spend on social media. This is nothing revolutionary, I'm saying. I believe that that's the main reason people should do it. Dopamine detoxing will benefit you in terms of your attention span because you will not be shackled. My second point is that dopamine detoxing. This is for creative people, particularly, but honestly, anyone who does anything remotely thinking based. Dopamine detoxing will help you to be more creative. It will give you more access in your own brain because everyone has these ideas. Everyone has this creativity. It will give you better access to your creative potential. Most people, including me, struggle to come up with anything remotely original. There is a spectrum. You can be fully carbon copying someone, which is not something you should do. And then you can, again, that's based on morals. If that's your style and you're not making money off that kind of art specifically, then it's fine. But my take on that is that if you're making money on carbon copying people's work and there's no element of your own kind of style, as in the mode it's made on, the kind of style, things like that. I know you'll know what I mean when I say that, but if it's just a pure carbon copy, then I don't think that's creative. So there's that side, the carbon copy side, and then there's the side of fully original, which is it's impossible. It's impossible. You want to be here. You want to be here. You want to be about here. That's more quality work. But the only way you can do that is by giving time to your boredom. Not being necessarily afraid of boredom. I think we've been taught growing up, 21st century, this is like a very prevalent idea, that boredom is a bad thing and you should be scared of it. If you've read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, you'll see how that idea can be kind of conformed into society. Pleasure is like the main goal in life. Boredom is terrifying to people. In that book, you're basically programmed to believe that being alone or being necessarily weird and non-conforming compared to society, that is a bad thing, and you need to be kind of inspected and you need to be treated for it. But that was my point there, is that you should not be afraid of boredom. Boredom is a very normal and natural thing. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, we didn't have any of these forms of entertainment. If you have access to a device right now, which you do because you're watching this video, you can pass away the time for the entire day. You will not be bored. You might feel bad about it at the end. I would. But you will not be bored. You can watch YouTube. You can listen to music. You can do anything. Or not necessarily do anything, but consume anything. And your brain will not have to be active in that. You will just be a zombie for hours. Creativity will flow a lot more naturally. I kind of see creativity as the same way that it was kind of presented in kind of chakra system in the Buddhist religion, and more specifically the way it was represented in Avatar: The Last Airbender, that one episode where Aang is unblocking his chakras to achieve the avatar state. There's these pools of water. The water will flow. This is your kind of creative flow, your creative potential. And it will get clogged from time to time. It will be like things like seaweed in real life will just like clog up the pool, and the water won't be able to flow. You can attribute that nowadays to things that take away your attention span, and your dopamine as well. And so that would be things like Instagram for many hours a day. But usually you are not going to get any worth of your time out of spending more than an hour on social media. I mean this as a total time. So, I don't know, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, those kind of the video form stuff, you shouldn't really spend more than an hour on it. Your ideas will flow better if you sit in your boredom for honestly an hour at least a day. If you just sit in your boredom and think, no one does that anymore. No one does that anymore. Hundreds of years ago, classic writers would sit at their desks and stroke their beards for hours and hours and days at a time for just one idea, for one line. Right? This was like a lifetime kind of vocation. People put their lives into creative works. But nowadays, people don't have time for that because specifically the lower class peoples have to live. We have to work to live. Being creative has always been more of a side hobby compared to actual living, compared to actually working for someone and making money to just keep a house, to just keep a roof over your head. For hundreds of years, that has been the case. My 2 points are dopamine detoxing should be done to improve your attention span and your dopamine system. You will enjoy everyday things a lot better. Even breathing will feel enjoyable. And that is the natural way to live. We can strive for it. Those of us who do will appreciate life more. My second point, as I'm just summarizing here, is that people need to dopamine detox more to gain their creative potential back. So don't be scared of boredom, because that is the moment where creativity will flow. Most people have never done dopamine detox, and that's fine and that's normal. It's not really a mass known thing, and I don't think many people even have time for it. But I would say that if this was to become more, just one day every 3 months, that's what I think. I think people should dopamine detox one day every 3 months, and it would benefit everyone in the long term. Thanks for watching.